All right, so we're here, guys, at the Miami International Boat Show, better known as MIBS 2023. And I'm standing next to Corey Bruno, looking at Mercury's latest and greatest product, the all-new V10. So, Corey, your role at Mercury is?
Yeah, I'm the director of the outboard category.
Okay, so you oversee all of basically the engines in the lineup. And is that from like a design or production standpoint, or?
Yeah, so you're right. All the engines in the lineup, from the new Avators up to the V12, and it's really kind of the product management side. So working with customers, working internally and externally to make sure the features that people want are coming into the products that we're working on and releasing.
So obviously, in my world, you and I don't interact a lot, but Mercury is a longtime partner of ours. Mercury is title sponsor of our PBSC Summer Series. Great series that's been running for 27 years in South Florida, and our audience is going to be very interested in this new product because, as we've seen, right, the progression and the ramping up of these larger and larger center consoles, there's been a much greater demand for larger horsepower engines, and I know that on the heels of the success of the 4-stroke 300, that there was rumblings of a possible larger, outboard engine coming from you guys.
Yeah.
But you've made it a reality with the announcement recently at Lake X, which I was fortunate to be a part of. I actually have been on some boats that have run these, and I can tell you guys, amazing, impressive. I currently own a 39 CV. Probably will be building another one in the next year to 2 years, and these bad boys will be going on the back end of that. So. Talk to, I guess, what inspired the V10, what's in terms of like the mechanics and the functionality of it, what is really important for people to know about this new engine?
I mean, I think you touched on it. It's a lot of similarity with the V8. Obviously the inline 6, 350, and 400 were best in class, but we knew there some new attributes and other attributes that customers wanted, and so this really kind of mimics the no replacement for displacement strategy that we use with the V8. So it's 5.7 liters, but it's still the lightest engine in the class. So able to deliver a lot of power and get through basically
what is the approximate weight of the V400?
It's 690.
V10, I'm sorry.
695 pounds.
Okay. And relative to so I'm currently running 400 Verados. So how would from somebody who's accustomed to that, how does the weight, compare to like a Verado engine?
Yeah, it's a little bit heavier than a Verado, but on the boat, you're going to see a nice improvement in performance. Especially, we'll see a cruise speed increase and a really nice punch in the mid-range.
Gotcha. And is this engine basically going to become like the larger horsepower in the 400 horsepower range replacement for the Verado, or how is that?
So this is our Verado 400 going forward.
Okay.
The inline 6, it's been a great engine that has been in the field as a 350 and a 400 for a number of years, but that is going to go end of life, and the V10 is the future at those horsepower nodes.
Gotcha. And is there any other standout features on this particular engine that you're proud of?
Yeah, I mean, tons. We could probably spend the whole day, but a couple of things. First of all, electric steering. That was just announced today, but we're really excited about what that'll bring both for consumers as well as our boat builder partners.
Is the electric steering, is that an option or is that standard, or how does that work?
It'll be an option, and then it'll be standard on JPO, and I would say that'll evolve over time.
Okay. Yep. Okay. Gotcha.
Another really great feature of this engine for bigger boats and boats with a lot of power needs, we've got an option that has a 48 volt, 12 volt dual mode alternator. So you can use all the power that 48 volt alternator delivers. That'll be a generator replacement for a lot of people working with our Navico division through the Fathom e-Power system.
Gotcha. So I'm going to ask this question because, I've fished competitively my whole life.
Sure.
That's what I'm good at. I'm not an engineer or mechanic. I feel like I have a good sense of, how to run boats and get the most out of them, but why they're doing that, I couldn't answer that question. So one of the things that really stood out for me when I was at the Lake X reveal and we had the opportunity, I ran a 27 CV bay boat, There was a quad engine Freeman that we ran, a couple other boats. And I mean, obviously the whole shot was tremendous, and I couldn't help but like, it just stood out like glaringly to me. When we were at like mid-range on that Freeman and running, and the boat operator put the throttles down, like, I mean, the power, like just, you could feel like the gravity, the force of it push you back. So what, in terms of the engineering of that motor, I don't experience that kind of power on my Verados currently. So what makes that difference?
Yeah, I mean, a lot of it has to do with some really kind of fundamental engine choices that were made, early on as we got into the V series. So it's quad cam, 4 valves per cylinder, and it's naturally aspirated. So as soon as that throttle body opens, there's not a lot of mass to spin faster, so you get a very, very quick reaction, as you described in the whole shot or in the mid-range, as the entire engine spins up really fast.
Right, and for boats that we're running, like my 39 CV, loaded down is, it's a 16,000 pound boat. So when you're dealing with, a rough ocean where you need to get in and out of a nasty patch of water with some response time, all of that stuff is big.
Yeah, we know consumers value that a lot.
Yeah, absolutely. So we're going to give you guys just a little look around the V10. The V10, is it as far as dealers are concerned, is it shipping now? Is it available in the marketplace?
Yeah, it's in production, has been for a couple of months now. We're making them as fast as we can in Fond du Lac. You got to check with your dealer on availability. It's going to vary around the region around the world.
Perfect. So we're not done yet, guys. They also, as you know, Mercury has cut its teeth over the years on not only being reliable, great performing motors, but typically being proud to be the fastest motor in the market, and hence, i.e., their racing division. I got a good buddy of mine, Mr. Steve Miller, who we go way back in time with, who's now overseeing a lot of the marketing and production side of the racing division for Mercury. So we're also going to take and give you guys a sneak peek at the all-new 400R. All right, so here we are, as promised. This is the man, the myth, the legend, and my longtime friend, Mr. Steve Miller.
Here we go.
He happens to be a very badass guitarist and musician, by the way, and his second greatest skill set is helping to make engines go really fast. So if you feel the need for speed, we're with the right guy. So obviously,
you're very wound up today, aren't you?
Yes, I am. You've been around Mercury a long time, came over from the competitive angling side, and have been working in the racing program sector for a long time. So obviously, we just had a great little convo with Corey on the new V10, which, as you know, for our tournament guys and a lot of the guys that are running around in the larger center consoles these days, we expect that to be a very, very popular engine package. But we also have a lot of guys that love to go really fast. Maybe don't care about spending a little bit more on engines. Maybe don't care if it's not necessarily offered on a Pro Staff program right now. And obviously, i.e. the V10 400R, correct?
Correct.
So for those people that may want to make sure that they are the fastest in that Bimini start or the fastest wherever they're going, what does the 400R bring to the table that's a little different than the standard V10 400?
Sure. So you alluded to a lot of good things. The 400, first and foremost, right, it's a performance derivative of the 5.7 liter V10 Verado, which was introduced last fall. And really, who this is intended for performance-oriented customers, for boats that start at about 75 miles an hour and work their way well north of 100 miles an hour, just depending completely on the boat and the setup.
Gotcha.
So what do we do different as a Mercury racing product? Well, it's similar to what we've done in the past with 300Rs and things like that. On the V10, we took the same architecture as the mainline Verado product. We added a larger throttle body, so it's a 92 millimeter throttle body that flows about 32% higher mass airflow through the engine.
Okay.
So combine that with a performance calibration and increases the RPM range by 200 RPM. So this is a 6,000 to 6,600 RPM engine versus 58 to 6,400 on the Verado product.
So you're not on
okay?
the rev limiter on this until
Right.
closer to 6,600?
Yeah, well, yeah, absolutely.
Okay.
That's when you get past that, you'll start bumping a rev limiter.
Okay.
But it's designed to help you spool up a little bit more. It develops more power with the calibration it has. It still does it on 87 octane fuel, which is really cool.
Wow.
So you don't have to search around for premium fuel. Really, none of the Mercury Racing outboards for consumers anymore require premium fuel. We've also added a different upgraded servo motor to the throttle body and a fuel pressure sensor, both of which work to increase your torque and the transient power and output. So not only will it give you a higher overall top speed, it'll give you a more pronounced throttle feel and a more responsive feel to it.
Okay.
Then we get down into the midsection, the racing advanced midsection, and really what we do there is we tighten up the mounts, we reduce the tolerances on the guide plates, and really part of being able to go fast is to be able to do that confidently, which means the boat has to handle well and feel safe to drive.
Right.
So that's what we do with the work we do in the midsection, and then we get down to the gear case. So on the Verado product, you saw the new gear case. They have the big 6.4-inch diameter gear case and the big giant diameter
Yes.
Revolution X props,
Correct.
which are awesome for bigger, heavier boats that need more lift and more leverage and more help to carry those big loads. On a lighter, faster boat that doesn't need as much help lifting, we go with either a 5.4-inch diameter torpedo gear case, or on a really fast boat, we go with a Sportmaster. So the difference between those two, the 5.4 will run a bit more submerged. It'll still give you good trim authority. It'll still help lift a boat that's a little bit heavier, while the Sportmaster is for the super fast boats, 85 to well north of 100 miles an hour.
Okay.
And that is a surfacing gear case that doesn't use a lot of trim authority, but it's really designed to really run high, reduce drag. It's got a bigger skeg on it for better handling. And really what we know from working with customers on our side of the business that like to go fast, you can't take a one-size-fits-all approach. We need multiple gear case options. We need multiple propeller options. And the what we've structured for the 400R really works to deliver that best.
So is Mercury the only manufacturer that really has a division, like outboard-wise, that's solely focused to like the race market?
Yes, that's true. Mercury Racing, we've been around, our brand has been around now for 50 years, actually for 2023, and we're celebrating that this year. But there's no other manufacturer out there that really focuses on the performance side of the market. And there are a lot of people out there that want to go fast, and they want to do it reliably and safely with good handling, and they want products that are just as well-mannered as the regular Mercury mainline products are. They want good shifting, they want good running quality, they want as much fuel efficiency as they can get out of a performance engine. And
They want their cake and they want to eat it
yeah,
too,
they
right?
really
Of
do.
course, of
These,
course.
it's not like the old days when it was just one-dimensional. I just want to see how fast I can go. Now it's, I want to go fast, but I want to be comfortable and have fun doing it too. So
Now going back to the economy, because I just want to ask, when you were talking about the fuel and 87, that the engine could handle the 87 octane.
Yep.
So is there any benefit to running the higher octane, whether that's performance, economy, or anything, or it's just not necessary at all?
it's just not necessary at all. It's certainly not going to hurt it. You can run 89, you can run Rec 90, you can run premium gas in it if you want. But really, we optimize the performance of the engine for 87 octane. And really, our goal is to try to make cost of ownership as reasonable as possible, but even more important, so many of our customers, even with racing products now, they're heading off to the Bahamas, they're heading far offshore, and they're taking trips with their boats where they need access to readily available fuel, and it's just a lot easier if we can just do it all on 87.
Perfect. Well, we go back a long time, brother.
We do.
And I heard somebody yell out, "Bun!" I looked back and there was this glamorous beard, and I was like, a blast from the past. So thank you for taking the time. Thank you for, obviously a great job for your entire team on a great product. What's the name of the band, by the way?
Remington's Ride.
Remington's Ride.
That's right.
By the way, if you need any great racing advice, just go give Remington Ride a like on Facebook, and you might
And now you're connected with Mercury Racing.
Yeah,
Yep.
you might soften the guy up. So hope you enjoyed it. Check out, find your closest Mercury dealer in your neighborhood market, and whether you are in the market for the new V10 400, maybe a 400R racing motor, or anything in between, Mercury Marine, #1 on the water.